in the CIA, we didn't give a hoot about democracy. I mean, it was fine if a government was elected and would cooperate with us, but if it didn't, then democracy didn't mean a thing to us. And I don't think it means a thing today. The true goal of the United States government is control. And they feel that if the United States did not control the governments of Latin America, then somebody else would. And the principle of government by the people, for the people, of the people, that is that's just simple.
The remaining problem, which must also be addressed, it's not enough to change what you think is bad. It's also important that when such a change has happened, you must really do better than what you have removed. So these ones who carry out coups, they have a task to make sure that they justify why they removed or they did what was unconstitutional to bring change. That change must be real, must give the people what is better than what they were getting under. Then that would be justified, in a sense, by that. So that is what is unfolding that we see every day. There is that struggle that goes on. So I hope certainly those who take over, while they may be condemned, in some cases rightly so, everything can be put right by new developments happening that are going to serve people much, much better than what they had before. So much is happening, and then the people either get fed up one way or the other and express themselves again one way or the other. As I said, they express themselves through the vote, or these ones who carry out coup d'etats are from this society. So they are part and parcel of the citizenry of these countries. So they are part of this dissatisfaction, resentment, anger, and injustice. Some young person. And then we say, oh, the establishment, unconstitutional means, da, da, da. Yes, whatever it means. But that has happened because the constitutional means did not deliver to the people to the extent that they. If you are saying it shouldn't have happened, then you should also be saying what was there before that was changed should not have been behaving the way it was behaving. Now, to the people, there is a point where they may tell you, yes, what we have is bad, the coup, bad enough. But what was there before was even worse. This is what they would tell you. So for them, they have maybe chosen between what is bad and what is worse. It's what I mean. Now.
Good morning, family. So it's such a beautiful day, wonderful morning here at the motherland, and I still have some great news. Yeah. They say that in every dark cloud, there's always a silver lining. And I kind of agree, yes, in every dark cloud, there's a silver lining. And concerning the issue about Ibrahim Traore, Michael Langley, the USA, we know very well that the USA has always used the strategy of if you want to kill a dog, the best way to do it is first give it a bad name, you know. Call it a thief, call it a chicken stealer, call it a farm thief, any name you might think of it, just give it any bad name. People will find a way to kill it, and they might even kill it for you. This happened in Burkina, this happened in countries such as Libya. The US and the NATO were able to tell us that Libya was being led by a dictator, yeah? And back then, Libya was really thriving well. The economy of Libya was very stable. Politically, it was stable. So we were told that the problem of Libya was Muammar Gaddafi. That is what Barack Obama and NATO told us. But then, after the problem, the said problem was taken out, what was left was chaos, you know? Right now, if you look at Libya, what's there is chaos. Libya has never known peace since they killed Gaddafi, yeah? Look at DRC. Since they killed Patrice Lumumba, they've never known peace. Look at Ghana. Ghana right now, they overthrew the founding father, Kwame Nkrumah. You see? It has never been like then before. Right now we are having leaders who are trying to rectify the problem. We've had so many of these people. John Garang. John Garang was also killed when he went to visit Museveni. You know, he was a Sudanese revolutionary leader who was trying to bring peace between the two Sudans, the northern Sudan called Sudan and the southern Sudan called Southern Sudan. Yeah. And what's really amazing me right now is that African leaders are waking up. African leaders are coming up front, and they are speaking for and not against this specific man called Ibrahim Traore. You know, we've had even leaders here in Kenya speak bad about him. You know, and that leader who is speaking bad about him, if you look at his watch, it's like a 5 million Kenya shilling watch. If you look at his shirt, 200,000 Kenya shillings shirt. For your information, $1 is equal to 129 Kenya shillings right now. So do your math. If you look at the shoes, it's like he's putting on close to 8 million on himself. And this person, his country's people are suffering. The constituency he's governing, people are living in a lot of poverty. So it doesn't make sense you put on such fancy things and the people you govern don't even have breakfast, to say the least. They go with 1 day a meal. But you who is calling Ibrahim Traore a bad leader, you're fancy, but your people are suffering. Ibrahim Traore is putting his people first before himself. Come on, this man does not even take presidential salary. How many African leaders will look back at money and say, no, I'm choosing my people over this money? A few of them. So we've had Paul Kagame. He's come up front and he's spoken for.
And that's what is happening on our continent. But for the dictates, for lectures, and so on and so forth, it's up to people to make a choice. And I think Africans need to just reject being. You lecture me on what should happen in Rwanda based on what? When even where you are coming from is having some confusion, some changes. So which dictate should I follow? I think we should also strive to do, things the way that works for us and improves people's lives. And what is so bad is that you may follow the dictate and do the very things that will run down your country. And by the way, those who give you lectures will manifest in two forms. One, some will actually blame you for it, even if you followed what they told you to do. Others will help you to sink deeper into the mess you have driven yourself. So you are better off charting your own course with your people and doing what you think is right for you or what works for you, and especially if it shows in the outcomes, in the results, then really that is what all along deserved to happen, right? If people followed what some of us would be saying for the last 20, 25 years, it is only to confirm what we saw coming or we thought was coming. It's not, as far as I'm concerned, it's not a big surprise with the changes that have been happening. Doesn't matter whichever background or political walks of life. Things happen to an extent that the people will eventually, for one reason or another, identify more with what they find benefiting them more than other things. And that's why we should all be making an effort, those who are at the helm of political institutions or other things, to make sure we identify with what people think works for them, and work with the people to achieve that. Short of that, if you think you just impose things the way you want, and in your own way you think is what should happen, it doesn't take very long before you are surprised that. But what, in the question you've raised, there is also some of those things that people have questioned over time. The lectures given to, say, Africa originates from the assumption, of course, given the divide there is, people call it north, south. The people of the north have assumed this right or an entitlement, that they have the power and they will use it to serve themselves well, even if it means using it against others who are even weaker. Still, that must serve their but a couple of things are interesting. While you are assuming that you have every right to take it to others and feed it to them, whether they want it or not. At the same time, at home, meaning the home of those people who think like that. There are internal processes, internal contradictions, because the people there also are saying, what are our leaders, our governments doing for us? And depending on which side of politics, one will gain over others, because, and here it is difficult to tell. You can't decide for people that this is what they must think that is right for them. Even these populist or conservative or liberals or whatever you call them, within there is a discussion as to whether what is happening internally among them serves the way they see things should happen internally now, before they go out and take it on to the others, those of us at the receiving end. So that internal contradiction will define things, and rightly so, their own way. And you see, it is very interesting when you look at, somebody talked about the administration in the United States. Following what was going on the media, I mean, on the news and the media and everywhere, there was this opinion being shaped that one side had no chance. And, you know, the leader is embroiled in litigations, here, these ones, blah, 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 you know. Even the experts we used to follow in the news would really give you an impression they have formed their opinion there is one side that is going to win. Now, a few weeks after, they sort of disappeared, really. And these were experts to tell us about things in their own place. So why do you think? Because they were saying one thing, they were forming their opinions. They want everybody to believe that for one reason or another. But somehow the process of democracy gave them a different result. And they had to swallow their pride and accept what has happened. So that is in their area. So now, as to where from the beginning they were used to taking it on some other people somewhere else, the South. Now, the South isn't going to be in a permanent state of confusion and, you know, obedience and just following the dictates as they come along. A number of changes have to happen also one way or the other, either changed by the people on the ground and saying these leaders of ours who are not doing anything other than sucking up to these dictates. We should find a way of getting rid of them, one way or the other. In fact, it is either one way or through the vote, which is always the preferred choice. But when that is not possible, some people have used the other means to get rid of these in a sort of defiance about how they feel they are treated by these leaders, or by extension, those who dictate their leaders, who dictate to their leaders what to do in their own countries. So one way, it will always give somehow, change will happen. So what we see on the political, economic, geopolitical landscape is a result of that. There is soul searching at different levels by different people, and it doesn't matter the weak, the strong, and there will always be a way.
Now, personally, as I listen to Paul Kagame speak, you know, he's one of those weird presidents that should be kicked out of power. Ever since he came into power, he's not left. Ever since the Rwandan genocide in 1994, right now we are in 2025. So many years, you know. That's close to 31 years in power. And a normal president should take 5 years in a single term. If he wants 2 terms, 10 years. But this guy has taken 31 years in power. But he has realized times are changing. He has realized that there are leaders unlike him. There are leaders who are not there to serve their pockets, but leaders who are there to serve the interest of the nation. You see, they are there to build the nation, not to build their pockets. One thing which we forget a lot is this, you know. Once we have leaders who think about Africa in totality, other than themselves individually, I believe there is a change. Ibrahim Traore is the leader we thought went extinct. We thought this kind of breed went extinct, but they are still alive and they are still kicking. And one is here called Ibrahim Traore, a young man who is a leader working so hard. Maybe what Africa needs right now is young leaders, young, fresh minds who can be able to voice, young leaders who understand current matters, young leaders who are strong enough for combat, you know. Paul Kagame has spoken the truth, because he also, back on Paul Kagame, he also always accuses the West for causing the conflict that we had in Rwanda, the Rwandan genocide. It happened in 1994. We saw so many of the tribesmen kill themselves. And he is always accusing the West for causing this conflict so that they may have access to whatever they wanted. Those are the words of Paul Kagame. I have quoted by paraphrasing, you know. So, Africa needs leaders such as Ibrahim Traore. And one thing that makes me proud of this specific gentleman called Paul Kagame is how he has come up front, and he has not just kept quiet, he has talked. Many African leaders are just watching and keeping silence. You don't watch something bad happening and you keep silence. If you keep silence and bad things are happening in front of you, you are as guilty as the one who is causing it. Yes. These are the words of Desmond Tutu, a South African Pan-Africanist nationalist. Yes, he was a clergyman as well. So this principle is rooted on biblical principles. You see something wrong happening, you act. Don't keep silent. Yes. Thank you for listening. I hope you have gained value, and if you have, do this, subscribe. I'll surely appreciate, and see you in the next one.